Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. This really quick video here. I actually decided to stop by a card show today. It's actually the local card show. One I go to every so often. It's monthly here in the Schaumburg area outside of Chicago. There's one at the Woodfield, just outside the Woodfield Mall that's held every month. I've featured it before. So I ended up getting a stack of cards today while I was there. When I was at the show, it was still predominantly always, of course, modern stuff, and people were looking to unload modern stuff. I did notice a little bit of a trend that people are trying to actually looking for things to purchase now. So it seems like the dealers are comfortable with having liquid money to be able to kind of purchase items from people now. So they were definitely soliciting for that for inventory. So it seems like some people are doing a little bit better now as opposed to before where they were a little reluctant to buy things from people. I think they were didn't have the cash on hand to be able to do that, and I think they weren't necessarily interested in trades because I think they wanted to be able to get cash to be able to purchase things or pay off things or whatever their needs were. But I did notice that trend of being a little bit different. As I was there, I also was able to notice a few more dealers at the show that were selling vintage cards, so I was actually kind of excited to see that. I did run into Tom, who I normally see at the show, who was selling stuff, so we talked for a little while. And there was a few others that were there, and they were all very, very nice people, all very, very willing to be able to cut a deal. So it was my kind of show. All right, and I was able to get stuff for all of my sets. I only bought one thing that has nothing to do with the projects I'm working on. So we'll start with the stuff I got that is the newest to the oldest. All of it's going to be vintage. So that's fun for, obviously, you guys to be able to watch this show here. All right, so 64 Giants. Here's a set I will admit that I haven't been as aggressively being able to work on, but I think this kind of counts towards it. I picked up 6 cards today. One was actually a duplicate. I forgot it, I already had it. Maybe in better condition than one I have, so that's okay. I got Hall of Famers for 64 Giants. I got Warren Spahn. Didn't have Warren Spahn yet. Put him back there. This was the duplicate, the one Marichal. I didn't have it before. You can see there's a little ding in the corner here at the bottom. So we'll see. I don't know if I have a better copy of that already. And I apologize about the glare today. It's a little glary coming from my back window. Tony Oliva. So we got Tony Oliva there. Brooks Robinson. Orlando Cepeda. Hoping maybe he'll come to the National on one of the days that I'm there. I might be willing to sign because he was at the Chicago Sports Spectacular recently. I would love for him to sign that card. And then local guy, Ron Santo. So I got those. Happy to be able to pick those up. So that was 5 off the list. I have to check my list to see where I'm at. I was about a little over a third done before. Might be getting closer to a half. It's only a 60 card set. The guy did have the Mantle and the Aaron and the Clemente, but I thought the price he was asking for those was a little too high, so I wasn't willing to kind of execute, at least today. Then I also picked up, this is the one thing isn't part of any projects, but I thought I got it at a pretty good price. Got a 1954 Redman Billy Pierce. So I got it because primarily he's a White Sox player. This is like the second card I have from the 54 Redman set. No tab though. Notice there's no tab on there. That's why I got a pretty good deal on the card. So now I have 3, 2 of which have the tab, one of which does not. So here we got Billy Pierce. Gonna put Billy Pierce over here in the back with the other White Sox players. And then I got some 53 Bowmans. Got another White Sox player. This is actually Sam Dentes. I'm assuming the way you're gonna pronounce that name. I didn't have this card yet for my set, number 137. So I'm gonna put him here with Eloy and Luis. Then I got Carl Erskine from the Brooklyn Dodgers. Card number 12, didn't have that one yet, so we'll put them together over here. And then the final card I got is actually kind of fun, I thought, because earlier, I've been able to show and feature this particular card. Hopefully the glare's not too bad. The Roy Mahaffey from the Diamond Star set. This is a 1936 copy, so it's got the blue back, so it's in the 3rd release of the Diamond Stars, the 1936 release, where they did re-release cards from Series 1 and 2, for players that were still active in the major leagues or had maybe changed teams. And I think in the video I mentioned at the time that this is different than his 35 and 34 release because he was now, I believe, a St. Louis Brown, if I'm not mistaken, on the back of the card. Yep, it's a St. Louis Brown. And obviously he had updated stats on there, but that because he was on the Browns, they removed the A's insignia off the jersey. Well, this dealer had a copy of the 1934 Roy Mahaffey. So you can see it's got the A's insignia on there, and he actually was part of the A's teams that I think has part of a World Series team, I believe in 1930. I could be wrong with that on top of my head. That's when they won. So here we go. I got the 34 and 36 side by side. And you can kind of see some of the differences there. Let me move it up a little bit so maybe it's a little easier to see on the camera. Again, the only thing that they really majorly did was remove the A's insignia on there. Everything else is more or less the same on the card. That's one of the things that you notice there. It's subtle, so like if you wanted to do a master set of this, you'd have to get the 35 as well in addition to the 34 and the 36 to be able to do it. And the 35 would have 34 stats. So this one's got his 33 stats, in which he won 13 games and lost 10. That's what they mention on there. And the back here, they mention his 35 stats, where he won 8 games and lost 4 games. So that's kind of interesting. I think kind of seeing those differences on the back of the cards. I'll put them closer to the camera so you can kind of see the differences as well. It's a little hard to see on camera right now, but this is done in blue ink and this was done in green ink, and that's kind of the big differences between the 34 and the 36 version of this same player. And I think the write-up is more or less the same. Yep, as I look through it, it's exactly the same, except for they mentioned that he's now with the Browns, and here it says with the Philadelphia Athletics. All right, guys, have a great one. As a reminder, I'm going to be on a live stream tonight. It was my very first one with fellow YouTubers. It's going to be with Bowman53, so you just need to go to his channel. It's going to be 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. And we're going to actually, he released it now to talk about what the topic is. We're actually going to be talking about the Diamond Stars. So stay tuned.